Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
How many former and current SEC commissioners are coming out and saying that the SEC is going to lose this case against Ripple? We saw a few weeks ago on the Thinking Crypto channel, a former SEC commissioner said they thought Ripple was ultimately going to win this case. We saw Gary Gensler in a very recent interview kind of alluding to the fact that the SEC is going to take losses in this industry, as well as now we have from Eleanor Terriat right here. Turns out even staff at the SEC aren't confident they will win this case against Ripple. A source close to the SEC tells me that Hester Pierce has expressed privately that she thinks the SEC will not get the outcome it is looking for. This is so interesting to me because, like we always say, the SEC is the ones who brought this case against Ripple. It is so mind-boggling that they would bring a case that they have so little confidence in. It makes you think that this case had very little to do with actually protecting investors and had a lot more to do with hidden hands behind the scene. Whether this lawsuit was used as an attack or used to bring XRP clarity in a market where clarity is desperately needed, there's one thing for sure, and this case was not done for justice. And that is why we see former SEC commissioners like Mary Jo White and people even at the SEC right now like Hester Pierce all saying that they do not believe the SEC is going to come out on top in this lawsuit. And it's very simple. Why? And that's because the SEC is just simply on the wrong side of the law. It's so crazy to me that the SEC would bring a case that fundamentally goes against the decades of securities laws that was practiced at their own agency. I think a lot of the times during this case, we tend to overcomplicate the main issues that are going on right here. But I want Brad Garlinghouse just to explain it to you guys very simply, because it really doesn't get any simpler than this. And at the end of the day, it fundamentally doesn't make sense for XRP to be declared a security of Ripple, and that's why the SEC will never win this case. Listen up to this and then we'll break it down.
If you own a security, it gives you ownership of a company, right? If Ripple goes away, XRP is going to keep trading. Many countries around the world, the UK, Japan, Switzerland, Singapore, they all have clarity and certainty that XRP is not a security. In fact, the United States is the only country on the planet that has suggested that XRP is a security.
So I think this is so funny for two reasons. One, he makes the point that every other country in the world have already said that XRP is not a security, and the US is the only country who is saying XRP is a security. Well, Ripple's a US company, so it's so funny that all these other countries are going out of their way to do the sensible thing and regulate this market in a way that allows a company to strive and change the world for the better, all while the US is destroying the own innovation that is taking place in the market. But I want to play the beginning part just real quick so I can break that part down.
And if you own a security, it gives you ownership of a company, right? If Ripple goes away, XRP is going to keep trading.
So right there, it doesn't make any sense what the SEC is alleging. They are trying to say that XRP is a security of Ripple, But XRP's not securitized by Ripple. If Ripple went away, XRP would still have value and trade unlike any other security we have ever seen in the world, and that's because XRP is not a security of Ripple. What never made sense to me from the start is that if the SEC really wanted to say XRP was a security of something, they would have said it was a security of the XRPL. Because at the end of the day, the XRP ledger is the only thing that backs up the value of XRP. And guess what the funniest part about that is? The SEC would have had no one to go to sue. They would have been suing software. And that is the biggest fundamental flaw in the SEC's case. They're going after a company who is fundamentally does not have the control of XRP, and therefore XRP is not securitized by Ripple the company. The SEC has a huge flaw in their entire case, and while this is the biggest one and easiest to understand, John Deaton breaks it down in so many different places. One, Jed McCaleb and Chris Larson received a memo from a law firm when they first started Ripple that stated XRP does not look like a security of Ripple. So Ripple was doing everything it could to try to do the right thing, and the law firms were telling them that, look, XRP has utility outside of Ripple, so we don't think it's a security of Ripple. Not only that, but Ripple was told by a government organization, FinCEN, back in 2015, that XRP is a convertible virtual currency. So why would Ripple think it was a security if other government agencies, and this government agency works with the SEC, were saying explicitly XRP is a virtual currency? Wouldn't that make you think it's a currency and not a security? Let's keep moving though. A couple months later, September 18th, Brad Garlinghouse met with Elad Roisman, and during that meeting, Roisman specifically told Brad Garlinghouse he didn't think XRP was a security, and felt bad that Brad Garlinghouse even had to keep coming to the SEC, clearly stating to him that in his eyes, there was no question XRP wasn't a security. And this is from the agency who declared a lawsuit against Ripple. It makes your head spin with how moronic this entire thing is. But let's keep moving. Back then, despite the absurd claim that XRP is illegal, the SEC failed to seek a preliminary injunction, meaning Ripple is still selling XRP to this day, and they have actually ramped up sales of XRP since this lawsuit. So if the SEC really thought that Ripple was committing some criminal offense, why aren't they stopping them from selling? They have the power to do this through the court, but they haven't even tried. And that's because they know their argument is insanely weak. All the evidence I have already showed you, and these are just what John Deaton said he thought on the top of his head. The SEC knows all this. They know their lawsuit is a lost cause, and that's because they weren't doing this lawsuit out of justice. It was driven by hidden hands behind the scene. Whether or not we find out why these hidden hands were doing what they were doing, we may never know. But one thing we know for sure, it's that XRP is not a security, and the SEC knows it. Let's keep moving though, because it gets worse and worse. What about the fact that Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati, and Joel Katz or David Schwartz met with the SEC multiple times over the course of 2013 to 2018. And not a single time did the SEC bother to tell them that they thought XRP was a security. It just doesn't make any sense. If they were breaking the law and the SEC thought so, they would have said, hey, we don't think what you're doing is legal. Why don't you come in and talk to us and we can figure out what needs to be done? No, they have just continued and continued to allow Ripple to sell XRP and never told them once that they thought XRP was a security. It doesn't get more absurd than this. This literally, if the SEC's fair notice defense was a balloon, this takes a pin and pops it. It's all gone. How could Ripple have fair notice if they were never told once in all the meetings they had with the SEC that what they were doing was wrong, and on top of that, commissioners were actually telling them what you're doing is fine, we don't think it's a security. It is insane. And let's keep moving if that wasn't enough for you. What about the fact that in June 2013, the SEC lawyers actually wrote a legal memo analyzing XRP? And you might be wondering, because we don't have the answers to this. What did this legal memo say? Well, John Deaton made a great point. It's clear that the SEC's own analysis did not conclude XRP was a security. Why not? How do we know this? One, the SEC would have turned over the memo. So, if the SEC made this declaration back in 2018, then this would be the center of their lawsuit. They would be like, Judge, look, we said in 2018, XRP is a security, case over, Ripple should have known. No, they're trying to hide this document. Why do you think they might be trying to hide this document? Well, I would guess it says something that would hurt their case. It likely says they either don't know that XRP is a security, or XRP is not a security. Also, they would have informed Ripple if they made this distinction. They clearly didn't. Ripple told us they never told them. So, the SEC is literally sitting on a document at their own agency that contradicts this entire case. Guys, this has nothing to do with Ripple selling an illegal security. There is something else going on here, and let me tell you right now, whether or not we get to the bottom of it or why this was all done, one thing is for sure, Ripple's coming out on the right side of this, and there is no doubt in my mind. So, on this last note, the fact that the SEC actually had a document talking about whether or not XRP was deemed a security by their own agency, Bill actually, I was shooting some emails back and forth with some lawyers and Stephen Hubert, and Stephen Hubert noticed that the actual final speech that Bill Hinman gave regarding the Ethereum Free Pass speech wasn't actually the final draft, and when he dug into more of the files, he actually found that sections were actually deleted and altered before the final draft was created. And in the process, rather than Bill Hinman bringing forth the final draft to the market, he actually produced one of the drafts in the middle of the decision-making process rather than the final thing. So why didn't Bill Hinman present the final draft to the market? Well, there's two thoughts. One, people are saying that either it said he shouldn't say anything regarding Ethereum and Bitcoin because that might lead to conflicts of interest. Wow, who would have thought? Or XRP was also listed in the speech. And Bill says that he thinks it's fairly obvious that XRP was mentioned at some point in this process, because why else would the SEC be trying so hard to hide this speech? He says right here, this is an interesting thesis, and I thought the same thing. He said, I thought XRP was initially in it and then taken out. I thought that XRP was added later, so Hinman went and read an earlier version of the speech. But either way, everyone seems to think XRP was in this speech, and for some reason, the SEC decided to go forward without mentioning XRP. The SEC has huge problems going in this case, and I believe that's why there is so much settlement speculation right now. It is becoming more obvious than ever that the SEC has no chance of winning. Linda right here tweeted out that if you go to the SEC's website, litigation releases archives, Ripple Labs never shows up. I've seen some people saying this wasn't true. I've seen people saying it is true. I see you can find Ripple documents otherwhere on the site. I just want to point out that there's a lot of speculation about a settlement right now, but Eleanor Secretariat says, in case anyone read this and thought it was true, a Ripple spokesperson confirmed to me that the rumors related to an imminent settlement are inaccurate. I just want to let you guys know, I think the SEC's case is weaker than ever. I think this thing settles out soon. If the SEC dares to go to summary judgment, I believe it is going to go very poorly for them. I think they get a much better decision versus ending this thing early and settling with Ripple. I don't know if we're there yet, but I believe we're going to see a lot of speculation on a settlement while the evidence gets worse and worse for the SEC, because people are just going to be thinking, why would they drag this on?
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.